The year is 1999, and I'm about to turn 5 years old. Now, when I come home from AM kindergarten, I know exactly where I'll be. In the living room, in front of Animal Planet, watching my very favorite Steve Irwin, Crocodile Hunter. I love Steve. He's so cool. I love his matching shorts and shirt. I love the way he gets right down on eye level with huge crocodiles and venomous snakes. I want to be just like Steve when I grow up. Now, the only thing holding me back from full wildlife obsession is, well, the lack of animals in my town. See, I grew up in the northern New Jersey suburbs in a densely packed commuter town to New York called Glen Ridge. And Glen Ridge is phenomenal in a lot of ways. It has really great pizza and bagels. It's the location of a lot of Sopranos scenes, and there's gas lamps all over town, but unfortunately, the wildlife scene is pretty dismal. We have some nice squirrels, some birds, but pets are really the main and only attraction. So the day of my 5th birthday arrives, and you can only imagine when my parents come over and tell me, "Honey, we have a surprise for your birthday. Farmer Jack is coming to the house." Now, Farmer Jack is an individual my parents hired to set up a petting zoo in my backyard. When Farmer Jack pulls up with his truck and his trailer, it's better than I could have ever dreamed. Out one by one, like a clown car, comes a herd of animals. There are goats, there are sheep, there are geese, there's a calf, there's even a miniature pony that's gonna do pony rides up and down our driveway. Farmer Jack finishes setting up the pens in the backyard and fills them with the animals, and it seems like my entire neighborhood has shown up for the spectacle. But I don't care about any of that. I have found my spirit animal, my new best friend, the cuddly yet majestic chicken. Now, I don't really know how I got a hold of one, but once I did, I didn't let it go the rest of the day. I held it to my chest with a fierce, protective love, and we paraded all over the backyard together. The chicken, let's call him Steve, in honor of my favorite crocodile hunter, rest in peace. Steve and I have an immediate bond. Steve is a great listener and very docile, thank goodness. We wander over to the snack table together, and I tell him, "My sister stole my Polly Pockets, and she won't give them back." Steve looks at me somewhat knowingly. We walk over to the swing set, and I tell him, "Philip Gomez proposed to me yesterday, and he gave me this really cool rubber ring from the supermarket." Steve looks surprised. We go to the front yard, and I tell him the horror story last night when my Furby wouldn't turn off and talked in the closet all night. Steve and I had such a friendship, and when the day finally came to a close and my parents walked over with Farmer Jack, I was devastated. They told me, "Honey, you need to let the chicken go now. It needs to go home to its chicken family." And Farmer Jack tenderly took Steve out of my arms, and tears welled up in my eyes, and in a graceful maneuver, my parents distracted me with a call for dinner and enticed me inside. Now, my mom is a phenomenal chef, and she never disappoints when it comes to special meals. So when we walked inside, there was a savory aroma in the air, and it was unbelievable. When we sat down at the table, she pulled out a tray from the oven. Steam was rising, and she sets it down in front of me and says, "I made chicken." Animal chicken? The reality hit me like a lightning bolt. The chicken in front of me and Steve are the same thing. "Steve, is that you?" It's horrible. I'm in pure shock, and I look around at my parents and my sister, my friends, who suddenly seem to realize what I've learned and sympathize for a moment, but then dive into the meal. I continue to stare at my plate, dumbfounded, and my dad, who's a Texas native and a barbecue king, decides to slowly take the chicken away from me and happily puts it on his own plate. And I put down my fist right there and then. I said, I am never eating chicken again. Now my mom, trying to salvage the birthday spirit, ends up going into the kitchen and cooking up my favorite meal, buttered noodles. And things are okay for a moment, but for the next week, I was on a strict diet of those noodles, fettuccine alfredo, and mac and cheese. Until about a week later, when I got distracted by Halloween and a new Snow White costume and forgot about my heroic outrage. But something stuck with me that day that persists even now. Once I finally remembered my deep love and respect for animals again later in life, I did give up meat, and I stand before you a vegetarian of 10 years. But even more than that, thanks to Steve, both the chicken and the man, I have pursued my Animal Planet dreams. I have swam with sharks. I have a gnarly spider bite. I studied long-distance migratory shorebirds, and I'd like to think that's in part due to Steve the chicken. So as I leave here tonight, all I'll say is this. I hope that you all find your Steve the chicken.